You have probably heard of life coaching, but you might be thinking, what the heck does a life coach actually do? Is this therapy? Are they giving me advice? How does it even work? How much does it cost? And how do you know if it's something that you'd even benefit from? Well, that is what we're diving into today. Hey, friend, welcome to the show. So, you have heard of life coaching. And if you've listened to any of my previous episodes, you've heard me mention that I am a certified midlife coach. But life coaching can feel a little mysterious from the outside. Like, what the hell is this exactly? So, we are going to talk about all of it today. We are going to talk about what coaching actually is, what it isn't, how it differs from therapy, how it helps midlife women specifically, and what it looks like inside real coaching relationships. We are also going to go over the types of coaches there are, the costs, which I know is a huge question for a lot of people, and how to find the right one for you. All right, so first, what exactly is coaching? Let's just keep it super simple. At its core, life coaching is learning how to think on purpose. That's really it. It is learning how to see your thoughts. It's learning how to shift them instead of just reacting to them. It's learning what old beliefs and patterns you have and how they might be holding you back. It's also about learning how much ownership you actually have over your thoughts and truly understanding that our thoughts guide everything else in our lives. Now, this was never taught to us. Nobody teaches us how to recognize our thought patterns. No one has ever taught us how to even pay attention to our thoughts, how to really be an observer of our own mind. Nobody taught us how much our thoughts influence our lives. And certainly, no one has taught us that we can actually decide what thoughts we think instead of just reacting to every thought that pops up in our brain. And those decisions can change everything. So basically, coaching teaches you how your mind works and how to use it. It's kind of like getting a user manual for your own brain. And once you really understand it, you can figure out what it is that you actually want. You can choose thoughts that serve you, and you can release the thoughts that don't. Now, let's talk about what coaching is not. So, first of all, coaching is not therapy. Therapy is incredibly important. I have personally had years of therapy to deal with childhood trauma, and I think it is absolutely amazing. Therapy is where you go to heal the past, to process trauma, to work through mental health issues. Therapists are trained, they're licensed, and they're equipped for a very specific kind of support. Coaching is different. Coaching is all about your current self and your future. It's about the next chapter. It's about your mindset and your identity and your confidence and your habits. It's much more about who you are becoming. So therapy asks, what happened? Past tense. And coaching asks, okay, now what? What do you want next? And how do you get there? Now, both therapy and coaching are going to give you a safe, confidential space to show up as the real you and say all the things. You do not have to hold anything back in either space, but the direction we take from there is different. So therapy helps you process the past. Coaching helps you create the future. Okay, the other thing that coaching is not is it is not advice. So just to be clear, coaching is not me telling you what to do. And I am not here to fix you because you are not broken. My job is to hold space for you where you can honestly and openly express your thoughts and your feelings. My job is to help you become aware of the thoughts you're thinking and the old patterns that you have been carrying around for years. So basically, I help you declutter your mind because the truth is the answers to all of your questions, your decisions you need to make, what you want, and just your life, those are already inside you. It's just that over the years, things have gotten a little crowded in there with a bunch of, let's be honest, crap. Old stories, old beliefs, expectations, and all of those shoulds that you put on yourself and others have put on you. And once we work together and we are able to clear out that mental junk, you will be able to actually see what's right for you again. You can move forward and make decisions with confidence and ownership. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay, so I'd like to take a minute and just tell you how I got here. So rewind many years back. I understood the concept of mindset, right? I had listened to the podcasts. I had read all the books. I mean, I grew up watching Oprah, for goodness sakes. And I would think, okay, if I could figure out how to shift my thoughts, everything would change. But it's a little bit like someone telling you to eat healthy. It's like, okay, cool, but what exactly do you mean when you say that? Like, do I need to cut out all the carbs? What about eggs? Are they good? Are they bad? Do I need to go vegan? Do I need to go carnivore? Like, what exactly should I be eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I needed the steps, the how. Sure, I knew mindset mattered. I just didn't know exactly how to apply it to my real, messy, everyday life. And I had big dreams, y'all, but honestly, I didn't totally believe that I could make them happen. And I had long held beliefs and childhood patterns and a lot of just negative self-doubt thoughts that were baked into my brain. So I didn't need someone to just tell me to think positive. I needed someone to actually show me how. So I hired a coach. Now, over our time together, it's not like I had one big lightning bolt aha moment that changed everything for me. It was just a bunch of little shifts over time, just small moments where I would think, oh, I guess I can look at that differently. And I started to actually notice the thoughts I was having and begin to shift them to something more positive that would serve me better. For me personally, the biggest shift was realizing that I really didn't have to completely overcome imposter syndrome or eliminate self-doubt in order to go after my dreams. But I did need to give my intentional thoughts equal playing time in my head. And I had to learn to move forward, even when I was afraid. Before I had a coach, I was driven and I was disciplined, but I was also scared. And I shrank because of that fear. And my coach helped me to make tiny adjustments, start to form new patterns and new habits, and really just embrace a new way of thinking that served me. And having those regular sessions with her held me accountable, not because of what she made me do, but because I was dedicated to spending that time intentionally on myself and on my mind every single week. After coaching, I was willing to show up, even if it wasn't perfect, even if I failed, even if people were going to judge me. It really, for me, felt like a fog had lifted. Like I finally had permission to go after what I wanted. I felt empowered and I had momentum. And honestly, realizing that I had control over my own thoughts, at least most of them, was absolutely life-changing for me. And that is why I am so passionate about this work, because I have not only seen what coaching can do, I have felt it myself. I want to share some real client stories with you and give you some real examples of things that we have been able to work through. One of my clients was going through a messy divorce when we started working together. Now, the divorce was not final. She was nowhere near thinking about actually going on a date. And yet, she was experiencing a lot of anxiety around the dating piece of her future life. And she was already putting a huge amount of pressure on herself to find her next husband or find her life partner. And so, of course, that felt terrifying. I mean, just hearing it out loud feels a little scary, doesn't it? It gives me anxiety. But through coaching, we talked through it and we were able to reframe the whole thing. I pointed out that, just people in general are really fascinating. They are interesting. Everyone thinks different. We have different habits. We behave differently. Just watching how someone else moves through the world can be really interesting. And also, who doesn't like a good meal? So I was able to point out to her that dating is nothing more than sharing a meal with a new person. That's it. You do not have to make it mean anything else. You do not have to find your next husband on the first date, or the third, or the 10th. Just go eat the food and observe this new interesting human in your life. And I'm sure you can hear how much lighter that sounds, right? And it's just a small shift in the way she was thinking about it. So months after we finished coaching together, she told me how that had really shifted her perception about dating. And it really took the pressure off. And she might actually enjoy dating when she's ready to do it now. And I love that for her. Another one of my clients worked in high-end luxury sales. So she was dealing with very wealthy clients. And she was avoiding sales calls altogether. She did not feel like she was converting when she would make sales calls. And honestly, like she just dreaded even picking up the phone. We dug in and we talked through a lot of things with her. And we discovered that at the root of the problem was that she really didn't feel like she belonged around these people. And so you can imagine that the energy she brought to those calls totally reflected that. So we did a lot of work on her money mindset, and we also dug deep into her past and built up an evidence bank for her. So we basically just looked for times in her past when she had been around wealthy people and she was able to feel confident. And we tapped into that. And I was able to just remind her that wealthy people are just people. They're just people who made money. That's it. They really are no different. And honestly, even I was floored by how fast she transformed. Literally in 2 weeks' time, she went from dreading and avoiding those phone calls to actually looking forward to them. And she started crushing those conversations. It was absolutely beautiful to witness, and I felt honored to have been a part of it. And then I had another client, and I will never forget, in her first session, one of the things she said to me was, "Women my age are invisible." And I'm sure you can just imagine how that belief might show up in different areas of her life. So one of the things we did with her was a lot of future you work. We also tracked her negative self-talk. And at one point, she said to me that she had no idea how often she had negative thoughts about herself. She had just never observed them before. And it was so powerful because once you recognize that you're doing that to yourself, you can start to catch it and you can start to shift it just in the tiniest ways. And that can really have a profound impact over time. And months after we were done coaching, she had a very big change at work. She was thrust into a brand new role in a brand new office, all new people, brand new everything, basically. And she told me that the old her would have kind of fallen apart. But because of the work we did, she was able to walk into that new role feeling much more confident and grounded. Now, yeah, it was still uncomfortable. Every new thing is uncomfortable, right? But she also knew that she could handle it. And she was able to own her wisdom and her maturity and her experience. I love that so much for her. So there's one thing I want to make really clear because I think a lot of people get confused about this point. You don't have to be going through some big, huge life crisis to hire a coach. Sure, some of my clients come to me when they're going through some big transition. But some of the biggest transformations that I've seen have come from women who weren't struggling with any dramatic thing at all. One client in particular started working with me when everything was fine. Her life was fine. Her marriage was fine. Her career was fine. She wasn't in crisis. She just had this subtle pull inside her, this sense of, I'm ready for more. But she just didn't know what that meant for her. And those quiet whispers are often the ones that need the closest attention. They are pointing you towards something new, something bigger, something more aligned with who you are now and who you're becoming. So no, you don't need a crisis to hire a coach. Sometimes it's the small, subtle stuff that leads to the biggest growth. Okay, so let's talk for a second about the different types of coaches. There are all kinds of coaches out there. There are business coaches, relationship coaches, health coaches, confidence coaches, divorce coaches, money coaches. There are even coaches specifically for work from home dads. Like, if you can think of any situation or experience, there is probably a coach who helps navigate it. But at the end of the day, we really all do the same thing. We are all helping you work on your mindset because everything in coaching comes down to how you think. And every coach, no matter their specialty, is working with your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions. Now, my specialty is midlife women. And y'all, I did not realize how underserved this group of people was until I became one. The shifts that we go through in midlife, oh my gosh. Your identity is shifting. Your hormones are shifting. Your relationships are shifting. And you finally have time to look at yourself again. And it is a lot. Nobody prepares us for this season. I know I didn't see it coming. And that is one of the reasons that I chose this work. Because midlife women deserve real support as they navigate this really unique mix of life experience and inner change. So yes, there are a lot of different kinds of coaches out there. It's just important that you choose one who understands where you are right now. So let's also talk about certification for a second. You'll see if you look around, some coaches are certified and some are not. Life coaching is not a regulated industry. Anyone can call themselves a coach, which is why choosing someone that you feel good with matters a lot. Certification does not automatically make someone a great coach, and lack of certification does not automatically make someone a terrible coach. What really matters is, do you feel safe with this person? Do you feel understood? Do they ask you great questions that really get you thinking? Do their clients get results? And do you feel like you can be honest with them? Now, I am a certified coach. I have been trained. I actively continue to train, and I am always deepening my work. But honestly, certification is not what makes me a great coach. My life experience does. My personal growth does. And the transformations that I help my clients get, that is what matters. And when you're choosing a coach, chemistry matters. Safety and connection really mean something. And that is the whole reason that I offer a free clarity call. It's so you can feel that for yourself. All right, let's talk about pricing because I know this is on everyone's mind. How much does it cost to hire a life coach? Honestly, the coaching industry has a massive range. You can find coaches who charge $100 an hour. You can find coaches who charge $50,000 for a day. Yeah, you heard that right. I know a coach who charges $50,000 for one day of her time. So pricing will typically depend on several factors, like the experience of the coach, how in demand they are, their specialty, whether or not they are helping you make money. If they're helping you make more money, then they're going to charge a higher price. And also just what kind of support they offer in their coaching. So listen, coaching is an investment. You are investing in yourself. You are investing in your mind. You are investing in your life. So yeah, it's not cheap. So let's talk for a second about one-on-one coaching and packages and group coaching. Because if you've looked at all, you've probably seen a whole mix of stuff out there. So most coaches, like myself, offer a limited number of one-on-one coaching slots. We only have so much time in the day, just like you guys. So there is a limit to the number of one-on-one clients I take on. A lot of coaches also offer group coaching opportunities. And just a little teaser, tune in next week. I have a group coaching program that is coming that I am so insanely excited about, but I'll talk more about that later. So just like the name implies, though, one-on-one coaching is private. It's just you and the coach. It's very custom. It's very personalized. Group coaching is what it sounds like. It's one coach and several other people. And most coaches will offer some sort of package when it comes to their one-on-one coaching. My package for all new clients is 12 weeks long. You may be wondering, why 12 weeks? Because we are dealing with thoughts and patterns that are decades old. Thoughts that you did not even know you were having. Conditioning that feels so familiar to you that you think it's just how you are or part of your personality. So the first few sessions are really about awareness. Then we start to shift. Then we practice it. Then we integrate it into your life. It's like a course for your brain, right? You would not take one college class and expect to know the material. Same thing here. And I have found that 12 weeks is really the sweet spot. It is long enough to create real, lasting change that will stick, but it's also short enough to be doable. And that's the only way that you can work with me one-on-one is by starting with the 12-week package, because that is where we build the foundation. At the time of this recording, my 12-week package is $1,800 for the full 12 weeks. Obviously, if you are listening to this later, that price may very well have changed. Who knows? So check my website for the latest information on pricing and packages that are available. So what does a session actually look like? Well, each time we meet up, it's virtual, and I will bring a lesson or a tool that we're going to walk through. And you bring whatever is going on in your real life. We're going to talk, we're going to coach, we're going to shift, we're going to tweak. And yes, I do give my clients a little bit of homework. Nothing crazy, I promise, but you do have to show up. If you want things to change for you, you have to be willing to do the work consistently. Not perfectly, just consistently. This is a partnership. I am guiding you, but you've got to walk with me. All right, so why is coaching so impactful in midlife specifically? Look, we have all heard the term midlife crisis, and let me just tell you, I hate that term. Like, I loathe it, because midlife isn't a crisis. It's just a transition. Yes, everything is shifting. Your identity is changing as your kids need you less. Your roles are changing, right? You're no longer the micromanager of those little munchkins. You become more of a guide and a mentor. And your hormones, Lord help us, we know those are changing. But your relationships are changing too. You may have had friends because your kids were in the same activities. And maybe those friendships are dying off and you're ready for new connections. Or you're sitting there looking at your spouse for the first time in 20 years and actually having time to spend with each other going, well, hey, who are you? And I find that during this time, we really crave more connection with midlife women who are in the same season that we're in. And listen, your relationship with those kids is changing so much as they either prepare to leave home or they do leave home. And even your dreams start to change. And the way you want to spend your time starts to change. And even how you want to experience fun and joy changes. It's all really kind of exciting. And listen, women in midlife, we are smart, we are wise, and we are self-aware. We feel this shift happening in us. We just don't always know what to do with it. Coaching helps you slow down and actually hear yourself again. It declutters your brain. It helps you identify what you want now in this season. It helps you unplug from perfectionism and people-pleasing and old patterns that don't fit anymore. And it helps you rebuild trust with yourself. Coaching helps you create your next chapter on purpose instead of by default. And that is why this work is so meaningful to me. All right, now I think we have covered it all. I've explained what coaching is, what it isn't, how it works, and how it can change your life. Now, if you are curious, if something in you is tugging just a little, your next step is simple. Book a clarity call with me. I will put the link in the show notes, or you can go to thrivewithintention.com/call. A clarity call is absolutely free. And listen, this is not a sales trap. This is 30 minutes, just me and you, of real one-on-one coaching. You will get support, you will get clarity, and you will feel better when you leave that call. And yes, you will get a feel for what it's like to work with me. It's like a test drive. You will know if the chemistry is right. And of course, I will share with you how we can work together from there. All right, y'all, that's all I've got for today. Go be fabulous. Make sure you take my free Shift Happens quiz to find out what you're really craving next in midlife. Or if you think you might be ready to dive into one-on-one coaching with me, book a free clarity call. You'll find both links right below the video.